This is Jason Long with Long Talks Video Podcast, and we're here this afternoon on a Saturday evening, and we are doing Season 1, Episode 2 on leadership pertaining to youth sports. This is a coach's perspective, and we have Tim Montgomery from the Joliet Ravens with us tonight. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Hey, once again, thank you, Jason, for having me on. I really appreciate it. You giving us this forum to speak on, the subjects that are important to us involving youth sports. But before we get started tonight, I want to express my deepest condolences to Big Tick's family, the St. Louis Bad Boys organization, and East St. Louis Flyers, the high school he was going to go to. I'm pretty for sure most people have heard the story. I'm not going to go into it. But what I will ask is, please, 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 if you have that video, take it off of all social media and respect the family's wishes. Thank you.
Okay. And second topic that we're going to talk about today is off-season work in preparation for the 2022 year.
We have done a few things. We've had winter workouts, every Sunday. But as we express to the kids, you have to do something more than one day a week. So we have kids who have hired, they have trainers and they work out. Some are doing it at home. We have kids who wrestled. Kid took second in the state wrestling, actually. And then we have other kids playing, different sports, AAU basketball. We have some kids coming up, of course, playing baseball. So our kids are well-rounded, staying in shape. They're not just sitting home playing video games. So I think we'll be fine when it comes to that. Of course, you got to get in football shape for conditioning, and that'll be coming up really soon. Our first spring practice will be the 5th of April. So we're going to be rolling in the spring football really quick right here and see how things work out,
So you guys have a short transition between winter training and when spring training starts then?
Yep.
Because I know Jaden, what he's been doing, I don't know if everyone else has been doing it, but that's April 5th. I mean, you're talking about, a week off from the winter conditioning if you've been consistently going.
Correct. Also, the coaches, the coaches have been doing different things. They've been having coaching clinics like Glazier. They were just in Chicago, so a lot of coaches went there. I actually have the Glazier Drive, which is online, so I have it like year round. I used to go to the open clinics in Chicago, but when they had when COVID first hit, they didn't come.
Right.
So then I purchased the Drive stuff, and then I've just been online doing mine. But it's an excellent resource for coaches, and I think that they should use that in their everyday game planning.
And what is that called again?
Glazier Drive.
Glazier Drive, okay. Next, what we're going to talk about is coaching style and game planning as it pertains to the Joliet Ravens.
Coaching style is similar to managing style, like the big three. You
right.
have autocratic, the democratic, and laissez-faire, right? I implement those into my coaching style. And I actually use all three. The autocratic, I don't use as much because that's more of this is how it's going to be done, and we're going to do it. I just use it as, hey, this is what we want to achieve, and then I go into the democratic part to where I get input from the coaches and their perspective on why we should do it a certain way.
So it's kind of like managing style, as I call it, where you're the general and you're like, it's going to be done this way because I say it, and that's the way it's going to be done.
That
okay.
type of style is pretty much over.
Right, exactly.
You have to be flexible, and like I said, being a good coach is you have to know your stuff, but also it's who you put around you. And I'm blessed to have great coaches around me, and also great players, and that's where the laissez-faire part comes in, is where the players, we now, since we're going into our third year of, being together, we're giving them more input as well. We said last week when our quarterback, when Davion, what do you see? What are you seeing out there? And you got an intelligent kid that can tell you, hey, the safety's dropping down or whatever, if he can tell you what's going on, that's just an added bonus.
Right.
Because, you know, you basically have a coach on the field.
Just like your eyes inside the field.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, we use, like I said, I use all those type of styles. And then game planning, we break down film like every other team does. And basically what we're going to do, you know, we're going to take away what you do best. If you run the ball, we're taking away the run. If you pass the ball, we're going to make sure you know, have a tough time passing. I might drop 8 in the coverage.
Now, how do you I mean, I could relate this to a high school team, but your kids are 6th through 8th grade?
Yeah, we're 7th grade going into 8th grade.
7th grade going into 8th grade. So how, I mean, I guess it would take a special core of kids or a mentality to be able to say, hey, I mean, watching game film, I mean, and then asking your quarterback what do they see. I mean, it's got to be a separate breed from, I don't want to say different names, but it's a separate breed of a athlete versus someone that you would find in just a regular town. I guess I don't know how else to put it.
Well, our main goal and objective is to get kids better, you know, develop them. And by developing them, not just on the field, but you got to do the classroom work. They have to be able to look at film and break it down, because the next level, going to high school, they're going to be looking at film.
Right.
If they have that portion down or pretty much down, of course, it'll be some things they're missing or whatever, but if we can get them to 75% of how to break down film and all that going into high school, and then the high school only has to do the other 25% or whatever to make them ready for high school, then we got them ahead of the game. And my thing is, for most of our kids, we strongly believe that they're going to walk on the field freshman year, and we got some that we believe their freshman year they're going to walk on the sophomore team and be ready to play and contribute.
Now, let me ask you a question here, and this is a question that, if need be, it can be deleted off. How does a parent of a student athlete deal with, let's just say, if your kid is your kid, he does what he does, and he goes on, and whether that kid gets cut, or let's just say he's a sophomore, and everybody knows he is well equipped to play varsity. How does a parent or a student, how do you deal, or how would you deal with that aspect?
Of my kid going up?
Correct.
I've always considered this as youth sports, though. I've always had my kid play up until we went to Joliet. Because when Jaden was 9, he played up with the 11 and some 12s, because it was an older, lighter league. So I wanted him to play that competition to make him have to grow. Once you get to high school, you just got to look at it. Some kids are ready, body-wise, you know, physically, they're ready to go. Some kids aren't. They might have the body, but the mental side, they're not ready. I try to make all of our kids well-rounded.
Correct.
So that they're ready to play, and if need be, a situation arises and they have to move up, then, yeah.
Did you see that?
I wouldn't say 2 grades. I wouldn't go from freshman to junior.
Right, right.
But I would go freshman to sophomore.
Exactly. And this may be another, and again, this may be another topic, but did you see the interview with the Wisconsin player?
Absolutely. The basketball player?
Yeah, give me some insight on that, because I've probably watched that about 6 different times, and I'm throwing this in. This isn't scripted into what we have, but what do you think about that?
If you look at our page, the Ball Out Boys, you'll see it's on our page.
Okay.
And you'll see I have it on my regular Facebook page, because I think that's so important. And I'm going to say hats off to the parents of that kid, hats off to the coaches who coaches that kid, because he's in the right mindset of playing college, you know, basketball.
And that was actually in the heat of the moment. That was right after the game. I mean, there was no prepping. That was raw.
Absolutely, that was raw. That showed you that he has sportsmanship and class. You lose, your heart's broken, and he showed class.
Right.
And like I said, when I seen that, I just had to immediately put it on my pages, because I wanted our kids to see that. You know, and I also wanted the parents that are in our group to see that. That's what we're striving for.
And
it's bigger than sports. So that's why I say all sports is good for kids, but moments like that show you that it's bigger than sports.
And it's hard because, again, us as parents, we get wrapped up because we are so involved in what we think our kids' dreams are, but also what our dreams are through our kids. And I'll say it, and I don't see anything wrong with it, that, yeah, I've lived through my 2 kids because I think I need to as far as the mistakes I've made, but I lived through them by trying to give them what I didn't give them and trying to protect them and make sure that as long as they still want it, that I'm doing everything that they can within their powers to fulfill their dreams. But this kid, in his darkest hour, this is the epitome of what we hope our kids would become. And this kid did everything. You couldn't script it better. I mean, I listened to it at least 5 times the first time, and I'm like, excuse me, this guy's got it together. I mean, I couldn't possibly fabricate a movie script any better than how he put it and how he wanted his teammates and how he didn't want to be defined by basketball and the leadership and the interactions that they had. And I was like, man, have I fallen short, because I mean, if my kid went on there, I can only imagine the heat of the moment what he would say, you know.
Well, you have to understand also, you're talking about a senior playing his last game in college. So he has matured in ways that younger kids haven't yet. But like I said, kudos to the parents and the coaches and everybody else that touched his life, because and you could tell he walks in faith by the way he was talking. So like I said, I really, really, really had to put that on my social media because it touched me when I heard it. I'm just like, wow.
I think she made a quote about the scripture, which he didn't even elaborate, but I caught a glimpse of what he was talking about. But okay, I just wanted to bring that up because it was something that I wouldn't have scripted. So expectations of next year's team with the Joliet Ravens.
Well, we got big goals and dreams for this team. Like I said, going into it, we were anticipating this time. Their last year. We got ahead of the game. We didn't know what we had, I would say. We didn't know that we had a team capable of winning the first year. Once we got there and we won a couple games, you could see the confidence build. And it wasn't an arrogance. It was just a confidence. They were hungry.
Right.
And we went out and knocked off a team that we weren't supposed to. And then the next year we come and we're still hungry, you know, but people are just after us. But we were like, hey.
Like, whoa, okay, there we go.
So, like I said, we played a really good TCU team that had us on the ropes. We won with like a minute something left, like a 35-yard touchdown pass, which basically sealed it for us. But we were down, 13-12. Had to come back. And then we scored a touchdown, and, you know, we got up 18. We missed the extra point, got up 18-13, and then, of course, we got a safety on them. So, like I said, we ended up winning 20-13, but that game, we trailed like the whole game. Well, we were winning at the beginning. We scored the first touchdown, but then they went on a run. And like I said, these kids never quit. Never quit. Do they win every game? No, we won. Last year's record, I think we might have been like 27 and then 27-3 or 27-2. So 27-3. 27-3. We lost to Louisville Jaguars, and that was like preseason. We lost to Kansas City Outlaws in the championship of the Classic KC during preseason, and then during the regular season we lost one time to City Colts, and they came up here and they really put it on us though. They whooped us, and we were like, okay.
Keeps you humble.
Oh, yeah, they humbled us.
Humble.
They humbled us. Like I said, me and Coach Leroy were really good friends. They humbled us. But the good part is, like I said, we always take those games, especially the games we're not supposed to win, the teams that are ranked higher, because we want to be prepared for the end of the year.
Right.
We begin with the end in mind. So once we got to Florida, or just the year before and this year, once we get to Florida, there ain't nothing we ain't seen. Okay, it's a big team. We played big teams.
Right.
It's a fast team. We played fast teams. You know, we play all the tough teams to prepare us for Florida. And then we get down there and they, you know what I'm saying, we took care of business.
You're not taking these away out. You're playing the competitive teams that your odds are stacked against you.
Oh, most definitely. I think, like I said, the expectations this year is that we come in ready to go, ready to play. This is your last year. There's no messing around. They already know my motto is, you guys are kids, be kids, but once we step on the field, it's all business.
Right.
After that, after we walk off the field, go back to being a kid.
Exactly. But it's business.
It's business because this is the attitude you got to have going into high school. There's no playing around on the field because in high school, there's always some, you know, you can be really good in youth football because, you know, there's nobody really over your shoulder. High school, somebody's always trying to take your position.
High school, you have a bunch of areas that funnel into one team, and it's every man for itself.
And then because we express that every level you go up to, go to college is even worse. Go to the NFL. Guess what? You know the percentages are crazy to even make the NFL.
It's sticking with it, what you've been instilled with, and just carrying it forward. Next topic we talked about is the lasting legacy with the Joliet Ravens. Let's talk about that.
Our lasting legacy, what I would like for us as coaches and our team to be, was that we took some kids from youth and brought them up, you know, to make kids into young men. I mean, we watched the maturation of their growth over these years, and you can tell that they've taken what we've instilled in them and took it to a whole new level. And I'm just hoping that it goes from that step to high school. But our legacy, as far as football, is that when we showed up at Joliet, we helped their brand go to a whole different level. And that's what I tried to promise Francisco Bermudez, our president. I told him that, you know, when he offered me the position, I told him that I just wanted to build a brand. And they were already like a national brand because they went to Florida and stuff like that. But we wanted to make it nationally, like all over, not just at the end of the year, all through the year. So we wanted to travel a lot and go play teams. He gave us that opportunity. He played for some tournaments and stuff for us, you know, showed support, and we appreciate that. So the biggest thing would probably be if we could win it this year and win it 3 years in a row. You know, that would be something hard for someone to come behind and do and replicate that.
Right.
And I believe that would be our legacy, that we never gave up no matter what. We played to the end. We pushed kids further than what they thought they could do. Because I always tell them, I'm like, look, your competition, your only competition is in the mirror.
Right.
You got to leave everything on the field, every game, every practice. And that's really most important. Like I tell people, we win in practice. It's not just going through the reps. They're going after each other, you know, and I have to have that quick whistle and blow it because, you know, it does get a little feisty, but that's the way we play. We are not the biggest team, but we are the most physical team on the field every time we step on the field. There's been a couple times it was close. I mean, we played Centerville Tigers from down at the East St. Louis area, and they're pretty physical. They play our brand of football, so that's always going to be a tough game. Right. That's the game we're looking for this year at some point. Have a lot of respect for how they do things, and I believe they respect us as well, and we're going to go at it.
Right. So what I'm going to do here before we go into our last segment is I'm going to make it a point, and I'm going to go on record as saying we're going to try and make at least 4 of the Joliet Ravens games this year. Going live, bringing our podcast out there. Excuse me, I'm not trying to overcommit, but this team here, I think, going into this next year is going to be a team that you're really going to watch. And I would like to not only get game clips, but do pre-game interviews, post-game interviews. And I really think it's going to be a team to watch this year, not just because Tim and his family is a close family friend, but because I've followed what he said and over the past 4 years, and I really think this team this year is going to be the team to beat. And again, I have not been to a game. I've followed the games. I've listened to Tim, but I really think going forward this year, the Joliet Ravens is going to be the team to beat. And going into that, the last thing we've got is teams that you actually look forward to playing this year, beating this year, whatever you want to put it.
Well, I really look forward to the Clash of KC tournament. There's going to be so many teams there. I think at 13U, there's already like 30 teams. It's stacked. And it's a gauntlet. You know, last year, no one gave us a chance. They thought we'd be eliminated first, second round. They didn't think we'd make it to the championship game. But we made it there. And we didn't get it. We got second. But like I said, now they have that hunger. Everyone wants to go back. We want to go back, and we want to, you know what I'm saying, basically take what's rightfully ours. So we're going to go back, and then it's going to be a gauntlet again, and we always take it one game at a time. We prepare each game just like we prepare during the season. We don't overlook anybody. Even though we might be expected to beat a team pretty easily, we don't ever overlook them. We practice and prepare the same way every game.
How many kids do you have that are 8th graders this year out of your team?
Going into 8th grade, it'll be all of them.
So everyone's going into 8th grade. No one's going into high school.
No.
Okay. My fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be 13U. You have to be 13.
13U. Okay.
You know, before, what is it?
Damn, why I think Jaden was getting ready to go into high school. My Lord. Okay.
He's got a whole nother year. He's got a whole nother year.
Okay.
I mean, he's starting to finally hit that puberty and growth spurt, so
you guys
he's
got
coming.
another year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. The size of these kids, though, man. I mean, excuse me. Okay. All right. You have anything else to add, Tim?
No, like I said, once again, I just want to express my condolences to Big Tick's family, you know, the Sampsons out of St. Louis area. We're all praying for you guys, and
Absolutely.
Hopefully there could be some type of legislation or something that comes out of this, you know, in his name that changes things. I could go deeper into what my thoughts were, seeing this guy that works for the Icon or whatever company.
Let's do it.
And he's talking, you know, the video shows him talking to somebody. I wouldn't ride this ride, and blah, 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 blah. Instead of him taking his job serious and going around and checking to make sure everybody was locked in. That was a human mistake. You know, that cost this family the rest of
ride, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into that any further because that's my personal opinion. I just think that they should receive the justice, whatever the justice is, because I don't even know what it could be. Because, you know, I don't even know. If I was in that position to lose a kid like that, I don't even know what justice would be.
Right.
But something's got to come out of this.
Right.
You know. But, yeah,
Gotcha.
that's all I have on it.
Okay. Once again, we want to thank you. And every week, every Saturday, we're going to be on here with Tim Montgomery. We're talking leadership as it pertains to youth sports. And this week was actually coach's perspective. So follow our Facebook page. We'll post the links below where you can actually keep up to date with the Joliet Ravens and how it pertains to leadership in youth sports. So once again, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. And again, to Big Tick's family, our deepest condolences. And you can catch us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Follow the links below. And we hope you guys have a good week. Once again, thank you for watching Lawn Talks Video Podcast, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.